Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron. Today we're going to be back on Project Groundskeeper, and we're finally getting started on bodywork. First thing I'm going to bodywork is the cab. I'm going to pull the windshield, the back window, take the doors off, and then I got plastic. I'm going to tape off all of this, the whole engine, around the tires, down to the ground. And then I'm going to take out the back window and I'm going to tape off everything down here, over the tires, all the frame, everything. I'm not going to be spraying any paint or primer or anything on it just yet, but I don't want sanding dust and all that kind of stuff to get over all the hard work that we've already done. So I've tried to show you guys before, I'll try to show you again. There's a good dent right there, a good dent right there. Couple dents back here. And there's the mother lode of all roof dents right here. And a little bit of stuff down here. Now, I'm not by any means a professional body worker like I've told you before, but I've got the drive to do everything myself. And I know I can do it. Might take me a little bit longer. I might have to do it, you know, 2 or 3 different coats of Bondo instead of just being able to pull it off in one. Might have to work the metal a couple times to get it right instead of just being able to do it the first time, but that's okay, because that's how you learn, that's how you get better. And I know what I'm doing, I'm just not that good at it yet. So I can teach you guys a little bit of something, and you can kind of learn as I'm getting better, and we'll go from there. But I'm gonna do the cab. I'm gonna start with the roof, work my way down to the bottom. There's not really anything other than the roof that needs a ton of work on the cab, other than just getting all the spray paint off of it and getting it sanded down and cleaned up. But like I said, first thing I'm gonna do is start stripping everything off, so we're gonna get all those parts off of it, and then we'll get working on body work. Alright, I got all the parts that I needed to get off for now off. Windshield's out, back window's out, doors are off. I took the drip rails off, and then I went around and halfway cleaned stuff up, vacuumed stuff out, checked for rust. I don't have any through rust in the bottom of the doors, top of the rockers, any of that. It's surface rusty, but it's clean. So that's good news. We'll put some rust preventer on there, that rust converter, whatever it's called. Spray that down real good so it can do its thing. But next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take plastic and tape it off right along here on the pinch seam. I'm gonna do the pinch seam on the back window. I'm gonna do around the pinch seam on the windshield, and then I'm gonna tape from right here down here along this pinch seam all the way down, and I'm gonna wrap plastic all the way around the front. Same thing on the other side, and I'll cover up this whole windshield opening. I'm not totally stripping the interior out, and I probably don't need to tape off the doors and stuff just for sanding and Bondo dust. But if I do, it's a lot less cleanup that I have to do later, and I'm going to be taping off to cover the engine and the frame and the back and everything anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it all, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I got a roll of plastic, some tape, and somewhere in my finger here, razor blade. I'm just going to cover everything I can and tape it where I told you I was going to. We're going to get all this stuff covered up so we don't have to clean it again later. Well, we're still going to have to clean it, but I don't want dust getting in all the new stuff I put on and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and get it all taped off with plastic. Alright, well, I got her all taped up, covered in plastic, taped. Where I taped it here and around the windows, I'm probably going to have to pull it off when I'm close to done and just do a little bit of fine tuning, but it's no big deal. Like here you can see some of it kind of overlaps where it's been painted black. I'm going to have to clean all that up, but I can do 98.5% of what I need to do with the way it's taped right now. So motor's all covered up, frame's all covered up, windshield, doors, back window, everything's done. So we're ready to start body working that cab. But today's Saturday, and I have an agreement with my wife that I don't work on the weekends so I can be home and spend time with the family and all that jazz. So I snuck over here for a few minutes, or hour and a half or so, to clean up the shop. And while I was cleaning up the shop, I went ahead and got a little bit of work done on this truck to get ready for Monday morning. So now Monday morning I can come in, start hammering on body work, and that's when I'll see you guys again. It's Monday morning, I'm back at it, and I'm ready to go. First thing I'm gonna do, get some cleaner, simple green or whatever I got laying around, and clean all that dirt off the roof, because I'm gonna start sanding it, and all that dirt and stuff on the roof not gonna hurt anything when I sand it, but it's just gonna clog my sanding pads up faster. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some rags and some cleaner and clean that roof as good as I can. Then I'll get my DA and some sandpaper out, and we'll get started sanding that paint off. All right, I got some 80 grit paper on my DA, my 6-inch DA, and I'm just gonna go ahead and sand this roof down. I'm gonna keep moving the whole time because I don't want to put any heat in the metal. I want to try to keep it as cool as I can. But to get these big dents out and stuff, I basically need to take this down to bare metal. So my compressor's going to be running a lot. The DA's kind of loud, so I'm not going to have you guys watch the whole sanding process, just a little bit here and there, and then I'll give you some updates along the way. So I'm going to turn the sound off and get after it. I got some sanding done. You can see all the dents there. That's a low, that's a low, that's a low, that's a low. Obviously this whole spot right here is a low. A little gouge there, a little gouge there, a little gouge there. It's pretty rough, but what I wanted to show you guys is it's got a coat of black paint, a coat of primer, a coat of off-white paint, a coat of primer, coat of green, coat of primer, and then bare steel. So I'm sanding through six coats of material, so it's going to take a while. Hopefully not all day. I want to get some more done on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off, sand my little heart out, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. All right, I'm about an hour into it, maybe a little more. You can see some bare metal in a couple spots. Except for the real low spots, all the black is off. Most of the coat of primer under the black is off. And we got some yellow, we got some other primer, we got some green. So I'm starting a new fashion trend. And I took a break to get some water and let my air compressor cool down a little bit. It started making a lot of water, and that usually means it's hot. So I'm going to take about a 20-minute break here, let my compressor cool off a little bit, let me cool off a little bit, and I'll get to sanding again. You guys may be asking, why are you sanding all this? Why don't you just get some stripper and strip it? Be honest with you, I'm thinking the same thing at this point. I really give credit to people that do body work and sand all day long, because I don't know if my body would hold up to it. But I guess I could have got stripper and just stripped the roof. I'm not gonna take the whole truck down to bare metal. The roof was just in really bad shape, dent wise and stuff, so I wanted to get it down to where I could really work it. The rest of the truck, it's gonna be just a little bit of hammer and dolly work, and mostly just a really light coat of filler and sanding. So I just wanted to get the roof bare metal so I could use my new toy I'll show you guys here in a little bit, and that's about it. So I'm gonna take a little break and get back to sanding. I'll update you guys in a little bit. All right, this will be the last update before I finish getting the roof cleaned off, but I've got it all the way down to bare metal on about 2/3 of the roof. So I'm taking a little break, hydrating, maybe getting a little snack, cooling off a little bit, let my compressor cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to get back on it and knock that last third out, get it all bare metal, and then we can start the fun stuff. All right, well, got the roof all sanded down to bare metal. Took me, with brakes, about 5 hours. It had primer, green, primer, silver, yellow, primer, and black on it, and it was quite a bit. 80 grit on a DA. It took a little while, but I stuck with it, got it done, and believe it or not, when I was kind of leaning on the roof and stuff like that, it popped out some of the smaller or medium-sized dents that weren't really pounded in there, so it kind of did me a favor. But it's all bare metal. Got it all cleaned up good, and now I get to play with my new toy, which I'm pretty excited about because I don't get new toys very often. So I've used one of these before, but I've never actually owned one, and I knew for sure I was going to need it on this and didn't have anybody to borrow one from, so I went ahead and went and bought one. But I got a stud gun or stud welding kit. So I'm going to show you guys how to use this as we work on it, but just for anybody that doesn't know, these little studs come with it, and you put them in the end of the gun, plug it in, then you push this button back here and hold it while you push this stud down in your dent, and it'll weld this stud to the dent on the car. And then you got a slide hammer here, and your stud slides down in there. You tighten it on there, and then you can take your slide hammer and just tap, 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 slowly pull your dent up. I'm gonna start on the biggest dent because I'm an idiot and because it's the easiest one for you guys to see. But if you look here, let me go get a marker so I can, it's with the glare of the light and stuff, I don't know how well you guys can see because I'm having trouble seeing it through the camera. So let me mark it out for you and make it a little easier. Maybe it'll help me explain it a little bit better. But this is the main reason I'm going after that big dent, because the smaller ones you probably won't be able to see at all. Like right here, there's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. There's a little crease right here, there's a dent here, there's a dent here. They're all over the place. But this dent right here is right there. Maybe that'll help see it. But anyways, I'm gonna get set up and get the stud welder ready. And then I'll come over here and I'll show you how I do it. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it's how I do it. And I'm always open to suggestions. If you guys have done body work for a long time and know what you're doing and know a better way than I do, leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'm still learning. I'll be learning for the rest of my life, and I always like to try new things. So what I do know is when you have a dent down in here, this part right there and a little right there, that's my lowest spot of the dent. But up here where I drew this line around, and you can, well, I can see it, but along this line, that's going to be a high spot. That's going to be raised up from where the roof is supposed to be, because when that dent pushes down, it bends this and pushes it up. So I'm going to put my studs on there. I'm going to start with like 3 or 4 since it's such a big dent. I'll start with one over here, probably one here, and one over here. And then I'm going to get a body hammer and I'll pop up on the dent a little bit, and then I'll tap down on this edge, and then I'll pop up on the dent and I'll tap down on this edge. But I can sit here and explain it to you all day long. It'll be a lot easier for me to just show you. So let me get everything set up and we'll get started. Alright, so I got everything set up. I got you guys in here as close as I can. That's as high as my tripod goes. I don't have another one that goes any higher, so sorry about that. But I got my stud gun. It's got the right tip in it with the stud. Put it in. I got it plugged in. And I'm just going to take it and stick it in the lowest spot of my dent here. Push down. Weld it on there. This kind of works like a welder. The reason you got to push that tip down so that this collar touches the metal is because that's like your ground. Like if you're welding and you got to have your ground hooked up in order for it to work, that's your ground. So you push it down so that touches, and then you got your ground, and it makes contact and welds it on there. One more over here. Just like that. I'll get this out of the way. I'll grab my slide hammer here. And I'm going to start in the deepest part of the dent. if I can figure out how this one works. Maybe I'm just dumb. There we go. Okay, I wasn't meaning to do that without explaining to you guys what I was doing. I was just making sure that was locked on there good, but just a couple little taps and this all popped back up. Like I probably didn't even need this stud because it pulled it. This whole spot around here, it's still a little low right here, but it's not really low anymore where I put that other stud. So come over here. It's probably just me, but I'm having a heck of a time getting this slide hammer to lock on these studs. See what happens. Alright, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Let me go figure this out and I'll be right back. Okay, I was doing it right. I don't know what was wrong, but we got it locked on there again, so that pulled that up. Now it pulled our back up almost perfect. A little bit of a low spot there, but but now it's still low up here in the front. Right here's okay. Over here's a little low and up here's a little low. So I might have to put another stud up here to get that to come up. But this feels really good. It's got a little low here, but if I pull on that one a little bit, it might pop it out. That's kind of a crease right there, but now this one don't want to come off. There we go. Okay, so there's a low right there, but this isn't pulling it. This feels good. This feels good. I'm going to put another stud. This is up where it's supposed to be. That feels good. So our only low right now is over here, up here, and then right in here. And there's kind of two like push down spots there. But I'm going to try to split the difference and put a stud right in the middle of them and see if I can get that to come up. And if I can get this to come up, it should pull this back up also. Kind of like that. Now this has got a high here, so I'm going to pull up on my side hammer. Just tap that down. Now normally, if this dent was in a door or something, I would hammer and dolly the whole thing. I wouldn't use this dent puller, none of that. The reason I'm doing it is because if you don't know, these roofs are dual skin. They have an inner skin and an outer skin. So if I go inside the truck, I can't get to the back side of this dent. So that's the whole reason that I took the time to sand this roof down and all that stuff, was because I needed to get access to this to work these dents, because I can't go from the backside. So there's a little low right there, little low there. It's still low over here, but for the most part, there's a little low right here too. For the most part, it came back up. I'm going to try pulling this one more time and see what happens. Man, this thing is wearing me out already. There we go. Alright. So that did bring that up quite a bit. And I was able to tap the outer side down, which helped bring it up even more. So we're making good progress. Like I said, I still got a little bit of a low right here. A decent low right here. This is an uncommon dent. There's like, I don't know, 5 different dents there. And normally you can pull a dent out with 1 or 2 studs, but this one is a little different. So I guess I'm putting 1 stud per dent. You guys like seeing me struggle? Well, here's the video for it. Oh yeah, that brought that up. Alright, we're doing good. Alright, now we get to fix that. But it did pull it up, so that's good. So I've gotten about as far as I can go on this dent with the stud puller, and it came out really good actually. A little low in a couple spots, but we're gonna have to weld that hole up and fix that, but that's not a big deal. Now, the best way to get these studs back off is just take a cutoff wheel and cut them as close to the metal as you can, and then come back with a little like die grinder and just smooth them out. I'm gonna go get my cutoff wheel and we'll get these studs cut off. So that's pretty much the gist of it for using the stud puller. Like I said, I'll just come back with a little grinder and take those down where I need them. And other than that, other than fixing this hole, there's not a spot on here that's going to leave more than 1/8 of an inch of Bondo if I just skim coat it. So once I get it ground down and all that stuff and we get ready to start doing Bondo or body filler and whatnot, I'll mark this and go back and sand it with some 80 grit after I mark it, and then you guys will be able to see where the lows are. I'd like to be able to get it dang near perfect get the metal dang near perfect and not have to use much filler, but without being able to hammer and dolly it, there's not much else I can do. So it's real close. I mean, there's not much of load anywhere. So we'll get her figured out. Alright, I figured I'd bring you guys in here a little closer. Maybe you can see, but that dent is pretty much gone. Other than this spot I ripped the stud out, I gotta fix, but there's a few little tiny lows, but nothing that I can do anything with, honestly. and they're so little that 1/8 of an inch of Bondo is gonna take care of it. I got the stud on this one, got it pulled up, it's where it needs to be now, and then I'm fighting with the dang slide hammer again. But that's about, there's a couple little dents over here, the big one's done. There's a crease there, but the roof is where it needs to be. It's just a little crease, so I think we might end up filling that with filler too. But when I get all my studs welded on this side to fix it, it's gonna look like Hellraiser, and that's no joke. I mean, there's dents from here all the way to here, and that whole area there. I mean, this whole section is dents. I got one there. I'm just gonna say we're halfway done because it makes me feel better about it. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep working those, and when I get all done, I'll show you guys the outcome. Okay, I got the other side all pulled, and I'm very happy with myself. I haven't done this in a really long time, and I'm not great at body work, but I'm trying to get better. So I'm impressed with the way it turned out. It's not perfect. I'm sure a lot of other people could do better, but it's gonna work out good. It's not gonna take a whole lot of Bondo to get it smooth, and pretty happy with it. So here it is. There's a few low spots, but all the dents are gone. The roof is smooth. I got these spots that I hadn't worked when I stopped filming yesterday, popped up, and then this huge dent is way better. So like I said, I'm happy. Next step's gonna be to put some body filler on there, and I want to use as little as possible. I'm not gonna try skim coating the whole roof or anything like that. I'm only gonna put it where it needs it, and we'll see how that goes. The thing about body filler is if you put too much, you sand it off. If you don't put enough, you add some more, and if you screw it up, you redo it. So it's a lot easier to work with than the metal. I get kind of scared messing with the metal because I don't want to overwork the metal for multiple reasons. Like if I'm trying to pull a dent out, I don't want to pull it too far and then have a high instead of a low. Then I got to hammer it back down, and then you're just working that metal, and I think it makes it weaker. It might not, I don't know, but you stretch it for sure, and then it's got to be shrunk, and I'd much rather work in the body filler than work in the metal. I got the metal up close to where it needs to be. Now I can body fill it and smooth it out. So I'm happy with it. I think it's gonna look great, but I'm gonna cut this video off here. So, and then I'll make another video starting later today or tomorrow, doing the filler and that kind of stuff. And I'm doing one piece of the truck at a time. I don't want to go and start working a whole bunch of different areas. I want to start one area, finish that area, move on to another area. Obviously the cab's going to get done first, but there's only like 2 other, maybe 3 other little spots that need work on the cab. and they're basically just gonna be filler. They're really small dents. I might work the metal a little bit, but it's not gonna be much. It's mostly just gonna be filler. And then we'll kind of get it sanded to where it's ready to spray some primer and paint on it. And then we'll move on to something else. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you're not subscribed, please do. Like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about it. And other than that, I think we're done. So thanks again for watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.